Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Anyways, welcome back to Chapter 5 of Higurashi When They Cry. I have a feeling we're going to be watching people get tortured tonight. If you can't handle that, I understand. But also, you are a bit of a wuss, so... I'm just kidding. Anybody who has to look away, I won't blame. It's not for everybody. I don't like this stuff either, but... Rena, don't act so surprised that I don't like watching people get tortured. This shouldn't be, shouldn't exactly be a controversial thing to think, I wouldn't say. Alright, we got... Okay. Rena looks genuinely worried in the original and console, but here she looks embarrassed, like, oh man! Oh, you caught me sending love letters to Keiichi, and Keiichi's like, oh man, what do I even do with this? Let's go with the original art style for a little bit. Why not? Yeah, you could say that, Rena.
寝たの3時くらいだからね。眠い。
3時？おいおい。夜更かしにも限度ってもんがあるぞ。
I don't know how to tell you this, Keiichi, but I didn't fall asleep and go to bed until like 4 on Friday. I also woke up at 5:40 in the morning, so I almost was up for 24 hours on Friday.
大方、漫画の単行本が面白くなっちゃって、一巻から読破してしまったんだろう。
Sure. I definitely wasn't doing anything else.
俺にも経験があるぞ。
あれ、ひょっとして村長さんのこと？
Why does OG Rena have such that adorable look on her? Oh, she looks so worried.
まだ見つかってないの？
I went to the Furaday shrine to join the youth group in search of the mayor. Since I knew there was no way he would be found, it was really boring for me. Well, just enduring sleepiness, that wasn't that bad. Not if you considered what Kimiyoshi had to go through since last night. He had been hanging from the ceiling and couldn't even fall asleep or sit down since he had to stay on his tiptoes the whole time. You are terrible. Uh-oh. Okay, we're going back. We're going back to remake. Teacher can only exist in the remake art style. The teacher explained to us that the mayor had gone missing and asked if we knew anything. No, of course not. A couple people said some things, but they were irrelevant. To me, this issue meant nothing, but it was all my classmates were talking about. I observed Keiichi Maebara. Yes, you did. I had no idea if any type of danger was drawing closer to him. Maybe I'd call him again tonight, pretending to be Shion. I told him some outrageous stuff last night, so he panicked. But I was sure he'd calm down after a day. At that time, I heard a little girl's laughter. It was Rika Furaday. Yeah, I think this is when Keiichi tells Rika about what he did, and she's like, leave it to me, I'll take care of it. And then, we kidnap her and Satoko, and then kill them both. The last survivor of the Furaday family, and their current head. However, she wasn't really treated as one. During the family councils, she'd often draw pictures or take a nap in the hag's bed. And Oreo puts up with that? She wasn't even invited to last night's meeting. It was hard to believe such a little girl was responsible for part of the curse system. However, even though she wasn't in a respected position as the head of the Furaday family, there were plenty of old people who worshipped her as the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. I'd heard from someone that Rika Furaday was rather odd, and seemed to behave as if she knew that she was that reincarnation. Maybe Takano-san had told me that at the library when she was alive. When Rika Furaday became worried about something, the elderly people who worshipped her would make arrangements. It was very similar to the Sonozaki family, and it was also the same system as used for the curse. I wonder, does Rika Furaday know anything about the deaths of Takano-san and Tomatake-san? What does she think of people sneaking into the ritual storehouse? Does she know who snuck in and what happened to those people? You have a prediction? Shion is going to freak out on Rika like she did to Satoko a year ago outside? Oh, quite possibly. Because you remember Rika crying when Keiichi talks to her? I don't remember that, but also, that happened a while ago. As the one managing the storehouse, it was possible that she noticed the intruders first. In fact, she was the only one who could have noticed it. She must have passed on that information, which is why the curse was executed. That foolish Keiichi turned the light on when we went into the ritual storehouse. That light switch could have been connected to some kind of an alarm. Rika Furaday, the leader of the Furaday family. Maybe getting to know her would be a good idea. Shion is remarkably calm.
フルデ家当主として今回の件はどこまで知ってるの？
I was gonna say, Shion is remarkably calm considering she's like trapped, killed, and tortured people in her basement already. Hey girl. Hey Rika. I asked her rather directly. It was hard to tell if she understood I was asking her in place of the Sonozaki family head, instead of as Mion Sonozaki.
富武たちのことですか？
Rika answered. The news hadn't been made public, yet she knew about it. Although she looked immature, perhaps she truly was the head of the Furude family.
お社様のたたりなのですよ。
そんなのは分かってるよ。
You interrupted me. I'm sorry, sometimes you take long pauses in between your voices, so I thought that you were done talking.
ならまだ終わってないよね。あと2人残っている。その2人はどうなるか聞いてる？
I tried to be vague, to see how Rika Furude would react. I had been thinking that she had nothing to do with the underside of Hinamizawa, since she was always treated like a child. However, Rika had just said things about the incident which normal people shouldn't know anything about. Here's an interesting topic. If Rika already has predetermined knowledge about what's going to happen, does she know that we are Shion right now? And does she know what we're doing? And she's just kind of powerless to stop it? That will be interesting. That proved that she belonged to the Underside's network.
別にどうでもいいと思いますですよ。
She answered the question about Toмотake-san and Takano-san fairly quickly, but took a little longer to answer this time. Did she have to think about it? You didn't answer right away. You had to think about it first, didn't you? Shit. The look on her face never changes. It's impossible to figure out what she's thinking.
どうでもいいってことはないでしょ。それじゃあけじめにならないのは分かってる？
僕はちゃんと反省したならそれでいいと思いますです。
Her response was unexpected, especially after seeing all the old people get so furious last night. She bet she does know it's Shion, but does not know what's going to happen, or at least not yet. Possibly. To trespass in the ritual storehouse was a blasphemy against Oyashiro-sama. The village elders had said those intruders deserved to die. Yet the leader of the Furude family, who protected the sacred storehouse for ritual implements, said that if they felt remorse for it, then it was fine. I recalled how people thought of Rika Furude's father during the dam conflict. Yes. Her father was called an opportunist back then. He didn't agree with the Onikafuji Guardians, who had resisted violently during the conflict. Like father, like daughter. Okay, Rika, you know, that creeped me out a little bit. Was not expecting you to get so close. It's the eyes, man. What happens in the... So she doesn't get closer in the OG art style. I do really like OG Rika. Only when she's in the school outfit, though. Okay, this is a little more frightening. Rika... Okay, man, Rika looks so different across the 3 different art styles, I would say. Maybe it's just the hair, but... Like, this looks very different from this, which looks very different from this. Is it just me? Like, it really feels like she's just piercing right into your soul in this one. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, never. I should have read this. I aggressively grabbed Rika Furude by the collar. She's not being creepy. We are.
はあ？何をひよったことを言ってんだか。
Rika's remarkably calm about this.
フルデ家は先代もあんたもつくづく甘ったるいね。あんたたちフルデ家が西宮殿がいかに神聖で不可侵な聖域か一番理解してなくちゃならないんだよ。そのフルデ家の仮にも当主が何を甘ったるいことを言ってるわけ。
I laughed at myself. I was told the same thing by someone else and was now saying it to Rika.
西宮殿を犯した罪がどれほどの大罪か理解してないわけじゃないんでしょ。
西宮殿はお社様の大切な場所なのです。勝手に入ったりとかしちゃダメなとこなのです。
分かってるじゃない。そこに汚れを持ち込んだんだよ、あの4人は。
悪い猫さんなのです。
What?
にゃー。
そうだね、悪い猫だ。2匹は捕まえてお仕置きした。あと2匹いる。
にゃー。
どうけじめをつけるべきだろうね。フルデ家当主のご意見を聞かせてよ。
Rika really didn't usually wear any expression whatsoever, making it impossible to tell what she was thinking. But while I grabbed her by the collar and stared at her, I could tell somehow. Rika was a little disturbed. I sensed she was trying to see what I was thinking in turn. Yeah, she's probably disturbed because you're grabbing her by the collar, which is weird.
僕は2匹の猫さんは許してあげたいです。
Yeah, didn't Keiichi explain it to her in that way? Or she compared it in that way?
それでけじめになると思ってんの？
けじめって言葉が僕にはよくわからないです。
ああ、いい質問だね。じゃあお勉強しよう。けじめってのはね、罪をあがなうってことなの。
Why are you acting this way, Shion? If she's like, I want to forgive them, and you did it, why wouldn't you be like, oh, alright. Do you really think Mion would be this aggressive? Why, what am I saying? She's crazy.
罪は残せない。お社様のお怒りを放置することになるんだからね。だから罪の大きさに比例したけじめで罪を清めなければならないの。わかるよね？
お社様は別に西宮殿を見られても怒らないのですよ。
Are you saying that because you're claiming to be Oyashiro-sama?
はあ？あんた何言ってんの？
あの中を見ちゃダメなのはあの中に怖い道具がいっぱいあるからなのです。
Oh, is this one of those things where it's like, it's tradition that nobody's allowed to do this, and like nobody really knows why, but they treat it super seriously, then it's like, oh, the actual reason is like really dumb. Where it's like, why do you, like, what's the story where it's like, why do you like cut the like beef like tenderloin in half before you put it in the pan? And it's like, well, that's because that's the way my mother taught me to do it. It's like you talk to the mother, like, why do you do that? It's like, well, that's the way like your grandma taught me to do it. And then you talk to the grandma, it's like, why do you do that? She's like, you don't have a bigger pan yet? Because like she originally cut it because it wouldn't fit in the pan, but it's like treated as like this thing you have to do. Ah, good times, good times. Shion forgetting that Rika's technically the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, the god is angry. I mean, it's the legend that Rika is the reincarnation. It's not actually explicitly stated or not.
見るときっと怖がる人もいると思いますのです。だから誰にも見せないようにしてあるのですよ。
Turn it into a tourist attraction.
見た人もきっと怖かったと思います。
The stuff is pretty creepy. Only when like Takano's there to be like, by the way, this is how they use this tool to rip out the intestines of people and drift it down the river. And then they ate it.
だから反省してると思いますのです。
反省してるから許されるって。あんたが決めることじゃないでしょ。そりゃお社様が決めること。
僕はお社様の巫女ですよ。
True.
そんなことは知ってるよ。じゃあ何さ、あんたはお社様に怒ってませんよって直接声を聞いて確認したとでも言うわけ。
Rika nodded yes without hesitation. Rika, are you actually conversing with demons? Are you actually Oyashiro-sama, or are you just completely like messing with us, being like, yeah, drop it? I can't believe the lies she's coming up with. I'm not surprised. I'm shocked.
あんたらフルデケがそんなざまだから、あんたの両親は一昨年のたたりで死んじゃったんだよ。お社様に仕える資格がないとお怒りを受けてね。
That is completely over the line, Shion. Although you have no problem crossing the lines.
それであんたの父親をたたり殺したんだよ。
お社様はそんなことしないのです。お父様はお社様のたたりで死んだんじゃないのです。
こんなのが最後のフルデケの巫女だとはね。お社様が心を安らかにできないのがよくわかるよ。
I want Shion to see clairvoyant Rika with like the much deeper voice.
お社様をお祭りするフルデケの人間でありながら嘆かわしい。
ミーが何を怒っているのか僕にはよくわからないのですよ。
Rika's a real winner, man. I love how she's just very calm despite she's like, you're just acting so weird. I realized. She was in a position to know as much as the other two family heads. As proof, she talked about this year's incident as though it was nothing. Yet she could feign ignorance with a serious face. She sure is something. In Rika's defense, you would definitely believe her that the god isn't malicious. We'll see about that. she's even better than me. It's possible that people, like, twisted the teachings or whatever, but... I mean, it's supposed to be a demon. Demons aren't good. I slapped her a few times and pushed her to the floor. Oh, you called it, Shirley! Rika, having tumbled downward, looked up at me with tears in her eyes.
そもそもあんたが最後伝の鍵が重いから簡単なものに付け替えたいって言い
Shion
出
is
したの
just
が事の
the
発端な
ultimate
んだよ
victim
ね
blamer. She's like, this happened because you changed the lock so that you could actually open it. It's not my fault for doing bad things.
そうですよ。
That's Rika's crying face, apparently. They couldn't program a Rika crying face?
硬くて僕では大変だったので、君吉に相談して簡単な鍵に付け替えてもらったのです。
あんたがその程度の手間を惜しまず頑丈な施錠をそのまま残していたなら西宮殿への侵入を許さなかったかもしれない。
Shion is the worst.
今回の一件はそれを忘れない方がいいよ。
Are you really going to torture her to death just because she changed the lock? To make it easier for her to open it?
もちろ
Are
ん
you that insane?
あんたと一緒に鍵を付け替えた君吉家当主に
Are you gonna kill him for doing that too? The last part was something I added on a whim. I added it to connect Rika's story to the disappearance of Kimiyoshi. I wanted to pressure her psychologically by doing so.
君吉家当主はけじめをつけてもらうことになった。だから消えた。古出家当主にもけじめをつけてもらうことになるよ。
You're the worst. Rika was still on the floor, tears pouring down her cheeks. You could have fooled me.
あと残ってるのは前原圭一だけ。こいつは古出家の方で頼むことにする。
僕は何もわかんないのですよ。
別にあんたは分かんなくてもいいでしょ。憂慮したり困った顔をするだけでいいんだから。
You bet Kimiyoshi's already dead? That's entirely possible. He can't be on his tiptoes forever. He's also very old. So, yeah. That would be horrible.
それはうちも同じ。とにかく。
そんなの。
Rika hung her head. She seemed to want to say something, but she was afraid that I might be rough with her again. I doubted Rika Furude was actually at the top of the curse system like the hag was. However, as one of the three family heads, she was a lot closer to the underside of Hinamizawa than I was. By now, that underside was well aware of Keiichi Maebara. I told the elderly leaders of the village yesterday in the meeting that Keiichi Maebara was the last one remaining. I just told the head of the Furude family the same thing. If threateningly. If my threat was effective, the curse of Oyashiro-sama would very soon fall upon Keiichi Maebara. And at just the right time, I would grab my enemy right as he took my bait. If the assassin came from the Furude family, this girl would have committed the same sin as the hag. When that time came, I wouldn't hold back. I was going to make sure she suffered, and then kill her. I've heard of a torture technique where you could pound dozens of nails into a victim's fingers. You suck! Actually, no. You know what? No. We've graduated from that. You're evil! I already found a restraining table and the tools for it. When the time comes, I'll pound nails into your fingers. That gruesome anticipation radiated from my eyes and scared Rika even further. Disgusting. I wonder how Kimiyoshi is doing. He did. I doubt he died from tiptoeing all night, but sometimes a human can go very easily. He already told me everything I wanted to hear, and he doesn't know anything else anyway. On top of that, he was responsible for spreading the infection that was the curse system of Oyashiro-sama. His sins are very heavy. I have really liked Uncle Kimiyoshi. Then why are you torturing him? He had always been kind. The hag was so tough on her relatives, and that's why he was extra nice to me. When we talked yesterday, I was so happy to hear him say that he would forgive Shion. He even said that he would fight the hag to save her. That made me very happy. Don't worry. If Shion-chan feels bad about what she's done, she won't be demoned away. Leave it to me. I felt such warmth inside of me. I almost shivered. I was so happy, yet so very sad. For he continued to say that Satoshi-kun deserved to die. He said those nice things because he wanted to make Mion happy, since she was worried about Shion. Okay, hang on. One thing I'm thinking. Is Shion's ultimate plan to, like, kill all of the people she thinks is responsible, blame it all on Mion, secretly kill Mion and then switch and, like, pretend that she was Shion trapped in the cell the whole time so that people think that she's good? Because if so, wow, you are absolutely disgustingly evil. Satoshi-kun deserved to die because he was a member of the cursed Hojo family, but Shion-chan of the Sonozaki family did not. That's what he meant. In other words, the leaders of the village, including Kimiyoshi, members of the Hojo family, are more contemptible than insects. They didn't care if they lived or died. Their sin was not only that they despised the Hojo family so, but also that they let that hatred infect the rest of the village. Therefore, everyone in the village deserves to be a victim of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Kimiyoshi and the others created an environment that excused murder in that name. If that were so. If Takano-san and Toмотake-san hadn't committed the serious crime of trespassing in the ritual storehouse... Whoa! Wait! Who the heck is this guy? Is that the evil uncle? Why does he have a sprite now? Why does he have a sprite when he did not have one in Chapter 3? Oh, he looks terrible. They really said, alright, let's make him look as evil as possible. Bro. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's kind of weird that he's wearing, like, a bright red tropical, like, Hawaiian shirt. The one consistency, though, he is always smoking. Always. He also has a baseball card in his pocket. Okay, this sprite of his is probably the best. It makes him look the most blatantly evil. It's great. And then Satoko Hojo, the last survivor of the Hojo family, and Teppei Hojo, who had been hiding in Okinomiya, might have been the victims. Satoko Hojo. She was always around Satoshi-kun. She expected Satoshi-kun to help her every time she cried. She was one of the people who cornered him. If Satoko wasn't that much of a burden, Satoshi-kun wouldn't have killed his aunt. That actually kind of made me jump a little. Somebody told Satoshi-kun to commit that murder, and to hide the evidence of his connection to the mastermind, Satoshi-kun was demoned away. That's what Uisi thought. If Satoshi-kun hadn't killed his aunt, maybe he wouldn't have been chosen as the last year's victim. Because the commands were vague, after all, the curse of Oyashiro-sama fell upon the Hojo family as a whole. It didn't matter which member of the family died. His aunt had a terrible reputation in the neighborhood. She didn't communicate with her neighbors, she was always throwing fits, and there was nothing nice to say about her in any way. Even if Satoshi-kun didn't kill her, the curse would have fallen upon her sooner or later. Their aunt was the first victim. There needed to be another Hojo to calm the curse. According to a rumor, the uncle was living somewhere in Okinomiya with his lover. However, Okinomiya was a little different from Hinamizawa. The Sonozaki family was powerful there as well, of course. But it would have been more difficult in Okinomiya to demon someone away. So naturally, Satoshi-kun and Satoko, who were still in Hinamizawa, became the targets. I could not fathom the level of hatred she feels for Satoko. Just because, like, Satoshi protected her. Especially since, like, Shion, if you really loved Satoshi, he would hate you for what, like, how you treat Satoko. But no, she's not operating on all cylinders. Which one should be cursed? That was simple. Satoko, of course. She was snobby and lacking in manners. That's why everyone in the neighborhood liked Satoshi-kun. Did they? Even if he was the son of the Hojo couple who betrayed the village during the dam conflict. Compared to Satoko, he didn't deserve to die. That might be just your own insanity. Therefore, the actual victims of last year's curse should have been his aunt and Satoko. Nope. You're stupid and evil and dumb. Satoshi-kun was suddenly all alone. His mean aunt and his mean uncle were gone. His sister, who had been a burden to him all his life, was gone too. Satoshi-kun was such a nice person. He would be sad, although he'd realize he was finally free. But time would heal him. I'd even help. You are psychopathic. He didn't have to live in his house in Hinamizawa. There were plenty of empty rooms in the apartment block where I lived. I could find him a part-time job too. He didn't need to go to school in Hinamizawa. He could go to a school with me in Okinomiya instead. This is like one of the single most manipulative and psychopathic things I've ever seen. Where she's like, literally like, I should have caused all of his problems and then presented myself as the solution to his problems. It's so disgusting, man. This is terrible. He wouldn't know his way around or really anything about the school there. So I'd be with Satoshi-kun all the time. I'd show him a shortcut to school, we'd go shopping, and I'd teach him many different things. What an unbelievably happy ending. His sister would be dead. And he'd be stuck with you. That is like the worst ending I can imagine for him, pretty much. Satoshi-kun had been suffering so much, and I had been pushed away all my life. But we would finally be happy. I enjoyed these sweet delusions, but I didn't have any more time to waste. I was sure there were plenty of old people who had been trying to get a hold of Oreo all morning, and who were going to try to catch me after I got home from school. Actually, the phone had been ringing constantly while I enjoyed my happy thoughts. Those are your happy thoughts?! When I answered the phone, I casually listened and replied. As I planned, Keiichi Maibara was now known as the next curse victim within the underside of Hinamizawa. I also tried to let them know that the disappearance of the village chief had something to do with the fact that he changed the lock on the ritual storehouse's door. All the authorities in the underside came to realize the seriousness of trespassing in the storehouse. After all, one of the heads of the three families got punished. One of the phone calls was from Uisi. He had also heard about Kimiyoshi's disappearance, and he knew it had something to do with the changing of the lock. I'm impressed. He has some pretty good sources. But all he can do is catch whatever information he can get. There's no way for him to find out where it's coming from. I'd call Keiichi Maibara again later tonight. Some of the more aggressive villagers may have already started to take action around him. Does Kasai know? Isn't Kasai gonna be worried? Like, I haven't seen Shion at home in a while. I'm sure that by now Keiichi is feeling the danger that's coming toward him. I'd have to be careful that he doesn't get killed easily. If I can catch the enemy before they bit Keiichi, I can use him again as bait. Keiichi Maibara. I haven't known him for that long. He's funny, if not intelligent. He'll never replace Satoshi-kun, but I do think he's fun to be around. There's just one thing I don't like about him. He rubs my head far too often. His hand is as warm as Satoshi-kun's hand, which is why I can't stand it. But that's about it. Keiichi Maibara isn't Satoshi-kun's enemy. I don't hate him. He's fun to be around, but I wouldn't shed a tear for him if he became the victim of the curse. Yeah, that's what we call sociopathic, or psychopathic. I won't prevent Keiichi Maibara from being killed, but I won't kill him myself either. Liar! You absolutely were going to nail his hands, like, to death, and you... Well, no, I'm pretty sure Keiichi just imagined you showing up to his bed at the end of Chapter 2. I don't think that actually happened. Her inner monologue infuriates me with how twisted she is. I'd made arrangements for the curse to fall upon him, but I never told anyone to kill him. Well, I suppose I did tell Rika Furide to take care of Keiichi Maibara. Wait a minute. To avenge Satoshi-kun, I'm doing exactly the same thing as the hag did. You're actually probably worse than her. I'm using the exact same system that killed Satoshi-kun. Keiichi Maibara. I'm just using him. I told people to let the curse fall upon Keiichi, but I've been giving him appropriate warnings. I'm going to help him if he tries to live. If I catch all my enemies. Maybe I'll let him loose. He's different from Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun was tricked into killing his aunt, and was killed himself afterwards so there wouldn't be any evidence remaining. I won't kill Keiichi Maibara. That's how I'm different from the hag. Gross, 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 gross! Oh, I hate this woman so much.